All right, I want you to try a little mental exercise with me. Try to hold two really different images in your head at the same time. So on the left side, picture this hypermodern digital entity. It's hosting these high-level, almost philosophical debates on something called agentic commerce.
Mm.
It's analyzing Silicon Valley culture, and it's partnering directly with Google Cloud on machine learning models. I mean, it is just bleeding edge 2026 tech.
Okay, yeah, I've got that image. Sounds like a think tank in Palo Alto, maybe. Or a research arm of a big consultancy in London.
You'd think so, right? Now, on the right side of your screen, imagine a physical place, the bricks and mortar reality. And this place is putting out a desperate public plea for money. They need to replace asbestos roofs, which are a health hazard. They need to fix rotting pipes. And look, this is the one that really gets me. They need to buy 300 mattresses for students who are sleeping on, like, bare springs because the dorms haven't been updated in decades.
Wow, that is a huge disconnect. It feels like two different centuries just colliding.
It does. But here's the catch. These two images, they're the exact same entity. Today, we're unpacking the Mpolembe ecosystem in Kitwe, Zambia.
And this is one of the most fascinating case studies we've seen in a long, long time. It's not just a story about a school in the Copper Belt. It's a perfect microcosm for the global digital divide. We're looking at an organization that is simultaneously pioneering agentic AI while battling just basic physical decay. It really challenges everything we think we know about how development is supposed to happen.
Yeah, we usually think of it as a ladder, right? First you get the plumbing, then you get electricity, then maybe the internet.
Exactly. But Mpolembe is basically saying we don't have time for the ladder. We are taking the elevator straight to the cloud, even if the elevator shaft is crumbling around us.
It's the paradox of the digital twin versus the physical reality.
Mm.
We've got a massive stack of sources today, everything from Google Cloud partnership announcements and reports on the autonomous economy to a very specific, very humble shopping list from a school principal.
And for everyone listening, this really matters because Mpolembe is a signal. It shows that the agentic economy isn't just coming for the Fortune 500. It's being adopted in places you might not expect, to solve problems that seem, well, insurmountable.
So let's break this down. We have two dimensions here, the school and the network. Help us distinguish them, because they share a name, but they seem to live on totally different planets.
Okay, think of it as hardware and software. The hardware is mpolembe.edu.zm, that's the secondary school. It has a really deep history. It was founded back in 1983 by ZCCM.
Which is the Zambia Consolidated Copper Mines.
Exactly, the big state mining company.
Right.
So it was born out of that copper wealth. But then in 1998, it was handed over to the Zambia Conference of Catholic Bishops. It operates as a nonprofit. It relies entirely on school fees. I mean, it's still a top-tier academic hub, known for discipline and all that, but financially, it's on its own. There's no big corporate endowment keeping the lights on anymore.
Okay, so that's the physical school. High-performing, but cash poor.
Yeah.
Then you have mpolembe.net-the network.
The software. This is a cloud-native collaboration platform, and this is where things get wild. They are a Google Cloud partner. Their focus isn't just, teaching kids computers or running a computer lab. It's digital transformation, AI, machine learning. They're trying to be a bridge between Zambian talent and the global tech ecosystem.
Yeah, the comparison in the notes is so striking. The school is worried about IGCSE exams and parent-teacher meetings. The network is talking about agentic AI and connecting developers to London.
Right, but the network isn't just some alumni fan club. The sources describe its mission as functioning like a world-class laboratory for human-centered technology. Yeah. They're really trying to build a digital twin of the learning environment.
Okay, digital twin. We hear that buzzword a lot in, manufacturing. You have a digital copy of a jet engine to test stress. But what does it actually mean for a school in Zambia?
It means that a student sitting in a classroom in Kitwe should have the exact same technological literacy and access as a student in Silicon Valley. It's about removing the intellectual barrier to entry. Geography creates a physical barrier, sure, but the digital twin, it removes the information barrier.
That's a massive ambition. And to really understand how high they're aiming, we have to look at what the network is actually discussing. I was going through their curated topics from late January 2026, and honestly, it reads like a briefing for a Fortune 500 CEO. They are not discussing how to use a mouse. They're tracking the shift from generative AI to agentic AI.
And this is the critical shift for 2026. If you haven't been paying close attention to tech, this is the moment to really tune in. We are moving away from the era of generative AI.
Okay, pause there. Agentic AI. That's the big buzzword. Break it down for us.
How is this different from me asking a chatbot to, I don't know, write a poem or summarize an email? Think about the difference between a consultant and an employee. Generative AI is the consultant. You ask it a question, it gives you a report or an image, it produces output, but you still have to go and do something with that output.
Right. I get the itinerary, but I still have to actually go book the flight.
Precisely. Agentic AI has, well, it has agency. It executes tasks, it creates outcomes, it doesn't just plan the vacation, it books the tickets, reserves the hotel, puts it on your calendar, and sends you the confirmation codes.
So the AI is moving from being a content creator to being more of a manager.
Empalembe Media published a report just on January 27th detailing this. They call it Agentic Commerce. The AI handles complex, multi-step workflows without you needing to hold its hand. The sources mention major brands, like the Home Depot, Papa John's, and Gap are already deploying this.
Wait, Papa John's? I saw that in the notes. Isn't Agentic AI making my pepperoni pizza?
It's not physically baking it, no. Robotics is a different field. But they're using tools like Google Gemini Enterprise to create what they call digital concierges.
Yeah.
And these aren't those annoying chatbots from 2024 that just looped you in circles. These agents manage the entire buyer journey. They can reason. They look at inventory. They manage logistics. They handle customer complaints. They bridge the gap between the online store and the physical logistics.
That sounds incredibly efficient, but also really expensive to implement.
It is, and it's not just about buying software. This ties into a broader concept Empalembe analyzed called the autonomous economy. They compare where we are right now in early 2026 to the internet in the early 90s. We're in the infrastructure phase.
I remember a term in that ThoughtWorks report they cited, structural reconfiguration. Sounds a bit like corporate speak for, firing people. But I get the feeling it means something else here.
It's about the architecture of the business. You can't just slap an AI sticker on your old business model. Structural reconfiguration means companies have to rewire their core data systems. The report calls it building intent-driven experiences. The AI needs to understand what the user wants to do, their intent, not just what button they clicked.
So if Empalembe Network is aggregating this high-level strategy for their audience in Zambia, they're essentially telling local leaders, look, this is the new standard. If you want to play in the global market, you need to start rewiring your organization now.
Exactly. They are democratizing the strategy. Usually this kind of insight costs millions in consulting fees. Empalembe is just putting it out there for their community.
But it's not all theory, right? I mean, they're actually partnering with Google Cloud.
Yeah.
How does this high-level agentic talk translate to the ground in Zambia? It's one thing to read about Gap. It's another to apply it at a hospital in Lusaka.
And that's the mission part of the ecosystem. They have a social impact arm that is leveraging this partnership for very specific sectors: healthcare, education, and climate.
Let's talk about the healthcare one. That seems like the highest stakes.
It is. They're collaborating with the University Teaching Hospital UT in Zambia. They're using AI and machine learning to analyze patient data.
So applying that high-level compute power to diagnostics, basically.
Yes. In a region where you might have a shortage of specialists, having an AI agent that can pre-screen data, identify patterns in X-rays or blood work, and flag high-risk patients. I mean, that can save lives. It amplifies the capability of the human doctors.
And in education, this is where that digital twin idea comes back in. Empalembe Secondary School is the first in Zambia to fully integrate Google for Education. And just last month, in January, Google dropped some major updates to its classroom platform that the network is highlighting.
I was looking at those updates. The most interesting one is the AI-generated visual aids and the automated feedback.
Automated feedback always sounds a little impersonal to me, like, great job, student number 45.
It can be, if it's done poorly, but think about the workload for a teacher in a resource-constrained school. If you have 40 or 50 kids in a class, grading every single quiz takes hours. If the AI can handle the repetitive grading and give instant corrective feedback to students, well, the teacher is freed up to actually mentor. They can spend their time on the students who are struggling, not on paperwork.
That makes a lot of sense. It's outsourcing the drudgery to the agent.
Plus, they integrated SAT practice exams directly into the platform. That's huge for global mobility. It levels the playing field instantly. A kid in Kitwe is prepping for the SATs with the exact same Gemini-powered tools as a kid in a New York prep school.
But this is where the Empalembe network really surprised me. It's not just